I don't think we've even seen the tip of the iceberg. I think the potential of what the internet is going to do to society, both good and bad, is unimaginable. I think we're actually on the cusp of something exhilarating and terrifying. It's going to crush our ideas of what mediums are all about.
Throughout most of his career, David Bowie was seen as an alien. Rising to fame as he put on the astronaut suit for Major Tom, he stepped into space where he would later find his home. Ziggy Stardust was arguably his most famous era, and one that truly captured his alienism, both figuratively, not fitting into society, and literally, as the glamorous rock star from outer space. David Bowie became iconic for his futurism. Far ahead of his times, he became an alien. 1969, humanity's first step to the stars, and David Bowie was at the front of its representation in pop culture. Space Oddity captured the zeitgeist of the moon landing, and sci-fi films such as Space Odyssey of the year prior. Major Tom represented humanity's first step into a new future, but not long after, it became clear Bowie was far ahead of his time. His music, films, and pioneering of technology and communications allowed us to imagine a future that was closer to a utopia, unlike much of the world around him at the time. Retrofuturism is a concept of the anticipation and creation of future cultures in earlier eras. Often scientifically implausible and dreamlike, these mirages conveyed wacky images of spacecrafts and rainbow cities. Much of David Bowie's work can now be considered retrofuturism. His visions of the future in sci-fi films and glam rock personas hold much of that hope and colourful optimism. These artistic depictions of the future imagined by the past remained just that. But Bowie was not just an artist. He was a pioneer, a visionary, and a futurist. And though some of his expressions were overly glamorized, perhaps, much of his vision was based in fact. With Bowie, there is always a bridge between the past and the future. So what would Bowie's future look like? In short, a world that is more fluid, where technology and the internet aids that fluidity by giving unrestricted, free information and a space for communication. There is no right and wrong, but a million answers to one question. A future of less borders between gender, religion, sexuality, race, and culture, where all people can connect through a digital space that is omnipresent with reality. Through all his sci-fi and glam, David Bowie envisioned a future of freedom and artistic expression which he actively took steps towards. In 1999, Bowie predicted the future of the internet in an interview with the BBC. His talk of profound changes in the way we communicate and see the world made the interviewer laugh, but 2 decades later we see how his predictions have come to pass. In 1998, he launched his own internet provider called BowieNet, creating an online community with unlimited, unrestricted information and music at a time when many were still struggling to grasp the concept of the online space. Before Instagram, Facebook, even MySpace, David Bowie was creating his own online universe that tied people to people, dissolving the boundaries between the artist and the fans.
There are always 2, 3, 4, 5 sides to every question. That the singularity disappeared. And that, I believe, has produced such a medium as the internet, which absolutely establishes and shows us that we are living in total fragmentation.
His pioneering of the internet greatly influenced our current digital age, especially in times of COVID, where it is now more normal than ever to have complete online concerts, something Bowie experimented with when technology was barely able to convey his ideas. Even now, many of Bowie's predictions are yet to occur, such as the transformation of the internet to omnipresent, with studies predicting them in the next 25 to 50 years. His early understanding of the subversion of the internet in the 90s made him a powerful manipulator of media and the visionary of a future revolution decades ahead.
that the piece of work is not finished until the audience come to it and add their own interpretation, and what the piece of art is about is the grey space in the middle. That grey space in the middle is what the 21st century is going to be about.
According to The Seven Beauties of Science Fiction by István Cicéry-Ronay, it is works of fiction that often become essential in imagining the horizons of possibility. Rather than focusing on the alien invasion, strange green creatures, or humanity's discovery of life on other planets, Bowie brought out the human in alien life through Ziggy Stardust and his depiction of aliens in human society in The Man Who Fell to Earth. His influences on the science fiction genre are endless, from aesthetics to genre-defying attitude, gender ambiguity, and innovative ideas of technology. He left an important imprint on the look and sound of the future, one which encouraged people to be more bold with their innovation of future cultures. He pushed the discussion of humanity in the context of future societies, how technologies would integrate as an omnipresent part of our lives, and a more equal, fluid future. But is his future ever plausible, or will it remain an optimistic work of science fiction? Many of Bowie's predictions have been consistently proven as time goes on. Already, the new generations are seeking this shift and acting on it. David Bowie saw a future revolution, and that future is now. In the next 5 to 10 to 20 years, the world is changing more rapidly than ever. For many, Bowie was eternal. Even after his death, he continues to influence and shape the way the future is viewed through the eyes of many. More than that, he predicted a future that is yet to happen. He shed a light on a utopia that we could reach, transforming ourselves and our ways as a race in order to make a future that is free, and he put us on the path towards it. Bowie's music allows us to imagine a future revolution in dispositions and ways of seeing.
Indulge in any form of worship? Life. I love life very much indeed.